Hello, this is Ice, and welcome to our first Java tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be covering how to download Java, where to get it, as well as the Java Development Kit. Now, what the Java Development Kit is, it lets you program in Java. It's literally what is required as the very basics to compile code on your own. On top of this development kit, we're also going to be getting an IDE. Now, what an IDE is it's similar to like a text editor like Word or Notepad, in the sense that it shows you lines of code that you write. But it allows you to compile the code and actually run the program. So it is also, it's kind of required. IDEs, usually the only benefit to them is getting colored code, syntax highlighting, error finding, because in reality, if you really wanted to, you could handle Java in a notepad. So we're going to be using an IDE. It's easier to manage, and it's better looking. The IDE we will be using is Eclipse. If you have not worked with Eclipse before, or you dislike working with Eclipse, you are welcome to use your own IDE. So let's begin. The first thing you're going to want to do is open up a browser. I use Maxathon. So give that a second to open. Now, once you have your browser opened, we're going to go to java.com. That's java.com. Now, if you already have Java, this step isn't crucial, but if you don't, simply left click on the Java icon and then click on the agree and start free download. However, if your computer is a 64-bit, I recommend downloading both 32 and 64-bit versions. How do you do this? Well, click on see all Java downloads and click on 64-bit, 32-bit. And 64, 32, 64, 32. The x86 is 32-bit, by the way. Now, if you are unsure of whether or not you are on a 32 or 64-bit, there's an easy way to tell. Click on your start menu and go to My Computer. Once there, right-click and press Properties. Then you're going to see that under System Type, you're going to see 64-bit operating system or 32-bit operating system of an x64 based processor or an x86 based processor. This is important, and I recommend that you remember this and always know this. A lot of programs work better if you know whether or not you are 64 or 32, because 64 allows for better management, so to speak. So we're going to close out of this. So now that we have Java, or you should have Java, just click next on all the setup. You're going to head over to oracle.com. Once Oracle loads, you're going to see a tab at the top. This tab is titled Downloads. Scroll over to the Popular Downloads subcategory and click on Java for Developers. Now this page is going to bring you up to a nice looking page with 3 to 4 options. Sometimes there is a 4th option. You can either click Java Platform up here or Java Platform down here, which is the JDK. So just click one of those, doesn't matter which, and it's going to take you to the Accept License Agreement page. Just click Accept. It's pretty basic. And then this is where knowing 64 32-bit comes in handy. So if we go to our computer, right click Properties, we'll see yes, we're still 64-bit, hasn't changed. So we're going to download that version. Now, this is important as well. If you have 32-bit Java, it's usually suggested that you download 32-bit SE Development Kit regardless of whether or not you're 64 or 32-bit. I have both 32 and 64-bit downloaded, so I will be doing 64-bit anyway. But if you are on a 64-bit computer and you only downloaded 32-bit, make sure you download 32-bit. Do not try to download the 64-bit because there can be complications. Now you're going to left click and it's going to be just like the Java setup. You're going to click save, you're going to wait a bit, it's going to take its time, you're going to double click it and you're going to run through the setup. It's pretty simple stuff. There's really no difference besides the fact that this is the development kit. Now go into your search and type cmd to open up the command. Now this is to test if Java Development Kit is set up, and we're going to find out that for me it is, but likely for you what you're going to get is an error, and this is because we haven't set up what we need to. So click on my computer, click properties, and click advanced system properties. Now real quick, I'm going to make it so I get that error so that I can show you. The error is going to say something like, the error is going to say something like javac is not a recognized internal or external command. Yeah, see, it's not a recognized external command, operable program, or batch file. Now, setting up Java Development Kit is easy. So head over to my computer again. Now open up your local disk or main hard drive, the one you used to download it. And now we're going to head into program files. We're going to look for Java. Once in there, look for JDK and a version number. There should only be one in there anyway. Head over to bin, and then inside here there are two ways to get what we need. You can click up here, right click and copy, or you can click on applet viewer, right click properties, and then copy the location from here. Now we go back over to advanced setting, environment variables, click new, and then type capital P path and paste in your variable, click OK, and now let's go to CMD again and type in javac. And as you can see, we have all of these options. We have the G none, so on and so forth. This means that it is set up. We are ready. But we still need one more software. We need to get Eclipse. Now, Eclipse is free, which is why I've chosen to use it. If you do plan on or you want to spend some money, there is also IntelliJ. Now, IntelliJ is the best in my opinion. It has a dark UI, which studies have proven keeps people more productive. It makes you focus, or you just work better with a darker UI. I prefer the colors. It's just, if you can use it, if you happen to have it or something, it's very, very good. It has a lot of things. It's easy to work with. It's just beautiful. Now, what we're going to be doing though is we're going to be heading over to eclipse.org, not .com. Now, all these links, by the way, will be in the description. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click on this Get Started Now, Download Eclipse button. It will always be here. It's been there for several years now, I believe. A year and a half. It's been there. It's been there long enough to where it's always going to be there. Now, again, you need to know your bit type. So if you don't, you still haven't checked, you've just gone with 32-bit, go ahead and click 32-bit. I'm 64, so I would be clicking here. Now, we're going to be downloading Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers. It has a little bit more things than the normal IDE for Java developers, which you can tell by the file size being almost 100 MB larger. Either or works for what we will be using. I do highly recommend it though. I've always used it and I prefer it over the classic. So click on the version you need. And by the way, if your operating system is not there for some reason, click under here. And then you're going to click on this down the link. Alternatively, you can click on these mirrors, but usually I found that this one is the faster. These are usually just maybe it's faster, maybe it's not. There's even regional mirrors, which can be faster, they can. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click on download. And it's going to bring you to this nice little donate page. You don't need to do anything. You can completely ignore it, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing. Now, I'm going to speed through the download. It usually does not take long. As you can see, it's 1% every 2 seconds. 100, that's 200 seconds. That's only 3 minutes. Right, so once your download is done, what you're going to do is you're going to close out of your browser. Now, I saved mine to my desktop. Now you're going to want to move this. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up, we're going to straight to our documents. And as you can see, I've already done this. But what you're going to do is you're going to right click. And if you do not have WinRAR, what you can do is you should be able to just double click it. And it'll open up in your file explorer. Then you can drag the folder into your documents. Now, I've already done that obviously. You just click and drag. And then it'll take a second to extract. You can delete that now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this icon within the Eclipse folder. And we're either going to pin to your start menu. You can also pin to your taskbar. I can add it to my Pocky menu, which Pocky is a Windows 8 start menu. And I've actually already done that anyway. Or, what we were looking for is send to and desktop. So what we do, and bam, we have our Eclipse shortcut. We can retitle it the Eclipse. And there we go. Now before we run Eclipse, we're also going to be creating a folder. Name this folder whatever you want. I'm going to name it YouTube Tutorials. And inside of this, name it again. Now, what should we name this one? We'll name this YouTube Tutorials. And we'll rename this. We'll rename this Workspaces. So now we have Workspaces and Eclipse. So now simply double click on Eclipse to open it up. It's going to take just a second, and it's going to come up here. So what it's asking is for our workspace location. Now a workspace is a folder that houses all your projects. It's that simple. It's just a folder. It'll hold all your projects. And the reason you might want to use different workspaces is really for different projects. I know some people do combine lots of projects in a single workspace, and that's okay, but what I tend to do is just copy projects over for different versions. So what we do from the top is we put in Workspaces and then YouTube Tutorials. You can also browse, I just prefer typing it in. And it's going to take a second to load up everything. Right, so once Eclipse is fully loaded, you're going to see something just like this. It is the welcome menu, and most people do not understand it in the slightest. It doesn't make sense to me, it doesn't make sense to most of the people I know. So we're going to close it. Now, when I say doesn't make sense, I don't mean it doesn't make sense. It's just not helpful. So we're going to see something like this. File, New, and then you're going to click Project. Then you're going to go over to Java and Java Project. Once you've done that a few times, you'll see what I have, which is Java Project up here. double click it or click next, and then we're going to name it. This one we're going to name is basic, and finish. That will take just a second to create all the folders, and then it's going to say associated with the Java perspective. Do you want to open the perspective? Remember my decision, and yes. Although once you're in there, as long as you're not switching out, you're fine. Now I'm going to clean this up a bit. I dislike task list and outline. They never help me and I never use them. And we're going to minimize problems. So now what we do is we go into basic, we click on SCR, which is short for source. We right click, create new. We're going to create a class. We're going to call it main. I'll explain all this later. This is just for the setup. So once main loads, you're going to click on this light gray option, and you're going to click show quick diffs to get rid of that, and then you're going to click show line numbers. And in one more option is go into preferences, click on general, the arrow, appearances, and then we're going to look for colors and fonts. Click on basic. Scroll down till you see text font, edit, and I'm going to raise this to 12. Click OK, and here we go. Actually 12 is a little large. I'm going to scroll it down to that. I'm going to actually change it to Cambrai. It's a cleaner font in my opinion. And there we go. And that is our setup. In the next tutorial we will begin programming.